Okay, so my job search process. Like I told you, before I started anything, I wrote down, okay, and I think when I wrote this down, I don't know that I was 100% like I'm getting a job. I think I was like, okay, if I were to get a job, this is everything that needs to be on there. But as I wrote that list, I was like, yeah, it's time. So I made a commitment to, all right, this is gonna sound a bit radical, but I wanted rapid results. So I made a plan to apply to 10 jobs a day. And I know that's a bit extreme. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that for everyone in general, but like for me, it was like, okay, I've made up my mind. This is what I want. I want to be in my new job by, I think I said I wanted to be in it by the first week of February. And so I was like, ready, set, let's go. I don't remember when I started applying. I can't remember if it was like December or January. I feel like it may have been December, but I'm not 100% sure. But I went all in and I made a spreadsheet, which I will just show you that here. I'll put it on the screen while I'm talking. In that spreadsheet, it had the company, the job title, the job setup, the salary that they were offering, the salary that I was requesting, any notes that I had. I color coded it as I got either rejections or invitations to do interviews, because I'm like, I'm gonna systematize this thing. Like, if this is my goal, this is just how my executive assistant operational mind works. It's just like, hey, all right, what's the goal? Let's make a system and let's make it happen. So I systematized it, and yeah, I applied for a lot of jobs. Like, what is in my spreadsheet is over 150 jobs, but I started that spreadsheet a little bit after I had applied, so I know that I applied to a bit more than what landed there. And during that time, I also honestly used AI to support me. Like, I was using ChatGPT during the time. What I did was I told it, these are my parameters, and this is what I want it to feel like. So I would print out a PDF, not print out, but save like a PDF of each job description, plug it into ChatGPT and say, based on, the things that I told you, give me a rundown on a score of how much this fits that. And that really cut down on my time too, because it would kind of read through and, tell me the responsibilities of the job, what the culture is likely to feel like based off of what was described and, the wording used. Any red flags, because I did say certain things and I'm like, okay, this is an absolute no for me. And then also some major green flags. I told her the things that I really, really wanted, to be able to do in my new job. And so, yeah, did all of that and would filter it through, and it would give me the heads up. Some things, it told me, no, you don't want to apply for that job. And I'd be like, but it feels like a good fit. So I still applied, and then vice versa. But at the end of the day, I was able to kind of use ChatGPT as my assistant to give me an overview before I would go into different things. That's what kept me efficient in the process of being, filtering through jobs to actually apply to. And so ultimately I ended up having a few interviews. I think it was like 3 or 4, maybe 5. I don't remember. A couple virtual, and then there were 2 jobs that I went through multiple steps in their process with, and I ultimately ended up going with one of them that from the beginning resonated with me, like something was special about them, not even on paper, but I don't know, I sensed something. And this was one of those things where ChatGPT had it wrong. Because ChatGPT was like, you might not want to do that because of this, that, and the other. But I just felt, I don't know, I guess in my spirit, like, no, I think this is going to be a good fit for me. And yeah, I was right, because I absolutely love it here. The people here are very supportive, very welcoming. The people on my team have been very helpful in me making a smooth transition in. And I was ready to come in and hit the ground running. They have been very intentional in scaffolding my learning and onboarding process, which I love and appreciate, because from a nervous system safety perspective, like, that has been more helpful than I even knew I needed. And so that's been a blessing. And yeah, being able to formulate my new routines around this new job has been great. And then now I'm starting to feel that comfort with, okay, I know a lot of my baseline responsibilities. And I, I won't say I've 100% mastered them, but I'm able to do them on my own. It may take me a little bit more time, but I'm starting to like take on those things. And yeah, it's just really exciting. So if you are in a transition yourself, trust your own process. I am always big on, I say this in so many videos, but setting your own metrics for success, setting your own goals for your life, and then operating based off of those and not anyone else's, which is something that I had to live out in this process. And then don't be afraid to go for it. Like, I definitely applied for some jobs that were stretch jobs for me. And yeah, it's worth it. Like, why not? And yeah, I don't know that I have anything else to close this out with. I would say trust God in his timing. I actually want to just hone in on that. I did talk about how I had applied to jobs randomly throughout the years previously, just because I was growing a little bit weary of the entrepreneurial process and more so applying out of fear in those seasons. This one was different. I knew the timing was like, okay, it made sense. And that's exactly, how things came full circle. When it's your time, it's your time. And when it's not your time, it's just not your time. And I know that can be hard to hear, especially for people who are like looking at their active finances. I've been there. I'm not insensitive to that fact. But with that being said, God will sustain you in that in-between. There are many other ways that you can be sustained in the in-between. And maybe I'll make another video about some of those things that you can do while you are waiting for that perfect job. But then also saying that when the timing is right, God can and will exceed your expectations. He will do exceedingly abundantly above all you could ask or think, according to the power that works in you, right? Literally, that's what happened here. Like, I wrote my list, God exceeded even that. Like, I thought I wrote my list in a, let me just ask him for a little bit more than even feels comfortable for me. And he said, okay, great. Now I can do even more than that. So yeah, just trust that process. And when you get that job, show up with excellence, show up, in joy, and yeah, show up knowing that you are worthy of it, and that they chose you for a reason, and that you have lots of value to bring to that situation, and show up in that type of energy. Yeah, I think that's all I have for now. Thank you if you watched this to the end, and yeah, I will talk to you soon. If you are more so on the healing and self-development journey, that part of things, grab my guided journal, Restored. This is like, again, a part of me renewing my vision. I'm on that phase of things, but the Restored journal is there to help walk you through the process of restoring your identity, recovering your rest, and ultimately renewing your vision for life. And so if that resonates with you, go grab a copy. The link is in the description. And if you are in the middle of cultivating a wealthy life in 3D, as I like to say, or, in real life, in real time, a life full of abundant wealth, health, and fulfillment, grab a t-shirt. Those, I'm not wearing it right now, but you've seen it in plenty of my videos if you've watched other ones. If that's the phase that you're in, why not wear it as a sign of like, your season, your era, the life that you're cultivating in real time. So that's all I have for you. I love you bunches, and I will talk to you soon, God willing. Bye.